jouself en al my sportmanne, net om julle te sê hoe goed die gastspreker eintlik is. Former member of South African hockey team, most promising South African hockey player, Holland hockey gespeeld, Holland Player of the Year, right, University of Hockey player, Holland Champs gespeeld. Man, that's only a sport accolades. Let's go on to what she achieved academically, right? She graduated at UNISA in financial accounting, UWC BA majoring in linguistics and political science, LLP UWC, UCT Masters in Commons and International Technology or Taxation, sorry, UWC PhD in International Tax in progress. The accolades speak for itself. What an amazing woman coming up to the stage and talking to you guys today. I want you guys to put a round of applause for her as Ms. Shirlynn Smith comes to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, good afternoon to the principal, Mr. Idros, to the hard-working and dedicated teachers of Bishop Lavis High School, the proud and dedicated parents of each and every one of you that is sitting here today. It is a privilege to be here. So pat yourself on the back, because it's really an achievement to be here. And a very, very special welcome to the distinguished members in attendance today, which is the matriculants, the class of 2024. Students, you are in your last stretch, the home stretch of your high school careers. And although it may be the home stretch, this is but only the beginning. So firstly, I would like to thank you, sir, for that gracious introduction. And also, most importantly, I want to congratulate each and every one of the matriculants for reaching this milestone, including your parents, because they've been by your side. Remember that you do not achieve anything by yourself. Mr. Idros briefly touched on it, and I can only imagine that this was not an easy journey, not at all. I'm sure that it took tremendous strength, mind, power, willpower, hard work, focus, dedication, and discipline to get to this point. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for inviting me to be here this afternoon. I'm extremely humbled and grateful for the opportunity that has been bestowed on me. Can you go to the next slide, please? So, my accolades and my achievements have briefly been touched on, and you can read through it on the slide there. So this is, yes, it is a motivational talk, but it's also a testimony of a lot of things. And as you can see on the first slide, and many of you may have seen this written somewhere, and still I rise. Because that's what we have to do in life, especially during these difficult times. We have to rise up. We have to rise to the occasion, no matter how difficult things may get. So this testimony is about my career, but it's also about my personal life. It's about my greatest achievements, and also my worst failures. But at the heart of this testimony, I would like to start off, and as you can see, the title there is, Whose Am I? And this is perhaps a question that is so unanswered to a lot of us, to many of us in this hall today. It's definitely, if you think about it, it's definitely not an easy question to answer. Who am I? It's definitely not, trying to find the answer. It's a journey, it's a process in order to get to that answer. But what I can tell you is that in spite of what you may see on the screen, all of my accolades that have been mentioned, which I'm very grateful that I could have achieved in my career thus far, that is but what I am. That is not who I am. So what if I tell you that looking at those accolades, which took me a couple of years to achieve, that person, behind that person, the person standing in front of you, there's a lot of fears. There's been many fears, many failures, many doubts, many struggles, obstacles, challenges, not only by myself, but my mom as well. Many disappointments and struggles as I was growing up, academically, in my sport, up until in my professional career. I'm going to touch very briefly on some of the challenges that I faced in my career, and specifically in my sport, and I want you to listen to this specifically, because so often, far too often, we are judged and we are made to feel like we are not enough, that we don't match up to what is on the other side of the track. We do, and that is just the truth, that is just facts. So while I was on a hockey tour, playing for South Africa, against Australia, this hockey coach, she was very strict with us. But she called me into, specifically, only me, and she called me into her room, and she said to me, Shirlynn, I don't believe that you should be on this team. I don't believe that you are good enough to be on this team. The only thing I can remember after that, what broke my heart, is knowing all of the sacrifices that my mom has made for me. I just cried. We're human. We feel. It's heartbreaking. Immediately I wanted to give up that sport. I was about 16, 17 years old. I wanted to give up the sport. I wanted nothing to do with hockey. In that moment, I had a choice. Am I going to allow this person who just told me I'm not good enough to break me? Or am I going to allow this situation to build me? Because what I can tell you is challenges will be your biggest teacher. Not only now, but for the rest of your life. I'm not saying this because I've read it somewhere. I'm telling you this because I've experienced it. And I love it. Almost every single day, I love it. So the decision was that no, I am good enough. Came back home, cried a few tears, dust myself off, trained harder than anybody else, and I come from a humble background myself. My mom is a Bishop Lavis high school alumna, and I'm proud that she's in the audience today. I come from a humble background. At my high school, I had no facilities compared to, like I said, other people may have on the other side of the track. I didn't have those facilities or resources. Did that stop me? Absolutely not. In fact, it fueled me to work even harder, to be even better, and to be the best version that I can possibly be. Because my thinking was, you tell me I can't do something, I'll show you. And that mindset needs to be ingrained from today, right now. Don't wait. Get it into your heads that I will show you and I will make it in life. Just from my professional career's perspective, went for an interview, rejected a couple of times by numerous, and we all go through these things. Jobs are hard to find. The company that rejected me, few years after that, became my client. It became my biggest tax client. Unfortunately, I can't mention the name of can't miss it. So there's about confidentiality there as well. But that became my client, which shows you it's not always a denial, it may only be a delay. So why am I sharing this with you? Simply because I want my story to encourage you. I want it to be truthful, I want it to be factual, and I want it to be honest. Because everybody, each and every one of you, I am sure, struggle with doubt, with anxiety in the world that we live in today, with comparison, with judgment, with not feeling that like we don't match up. And we live with a lot of fear. We're scared. We're human beings, we are scared. What I can tell you is that if you believe in your Creator, if you believe in the God of the impossible, He can turn that fear into faith like that. It only takes one decision. It's a choice that you have to make at the end of the day. It's a choice. God can turn fear into faith. You go on to the next slide, please. This will be your life. Don't let it scare you. Face it. When there's difficulties, when there's challenges, the best thing you can possibly do for yourself is to face those challenges head on. Face it, look it in the eye and say, yes, I'm facing it and I will conquer it. At the top, all of my accolades and things that people see is merely what is out there, what people see, what people think. It's what I am. Like I said, it's not who I am. I can tell you what made me and what shaped me into the person that I am, and that I could achieve all of those accolades is what is at the bottom. It's the hard work, it's the persistence, it's late nights, it's rejection, it's discipline, guys, of all things. When you don't feel like doing something, discipline has to kick in. You're not doing it for anybody but yourself and for your parents and for the people who love you and support you. That is why we do the things that we do at the bottom. And I can tell you one thing, what is so significant about what is at the bottom is that it creates a value-added person. It creates a character. It turns you into a person of strength and resilience. It creates faith. It contains prayer. It gives you purpose. It allows you to care for each other. What is so missing in our societies today is people caring for one another. It is so absent that it's sad. There's no more care. There's no more compassion. Look at every person sitting next to you. Care for that person. Have compassion towards each other. And guys, at the bottom I mentioned leadership, but that should actually be shifted right to the top because we need leaders in our communities. And I will be honest with you, we need leaders of color. We need leaders who come from not privileged backgrounds, but disadvantaged backgrounds who know what it is to struggle and that can relate to the next person who is struggling. So from today, yes, your matric results and the end is near, but like I said, that's only the beginning. And reach higher than that. Reach for the moon. Go on to the next slide, please. Like I said, I have many doubts and fears still today, but what gets me through is faith. It's faith and self-belief in yourself. You need to believe in yourself no matter what, because people will come from every angle and try to knock you down, but you have to stand firm and believe in yourself. So what happens when things go terribly wrong at times and you feel like life is shaking you? What do? I always go back to this. And I speak to God and I say, God, no matter what is happening in my life right now, I know that you have a higher purpose. I know you have a higher purpose for my life. And I can tell you, every you may face is preparation. Every problem, remember these words, every problem that you may face is preparation for something bigger. So in my lowest moments, when I have my down moments, I remind myself of this passage because it reminds me that I'm not in control of my future, but that God is in control of my future. All I need to do is work hard, believe, have faith, and trust in Him with all my heart. Sometimes that is all that you need to do. The results is not up to you, the results is up to Him. So through every trial, God has taught me so much. Though they were all difficult, trials and challenges are exhausting, it's emotional, but I'm grateful for them. Today, I can't tell you how grateful I am for all of those challenges, because they helped me to understand that I can not only rely on myself and my own abilities. How often do we do that? That we want to take control of a situation, that we want to be in charge of situations. We're not in control at the end of the day. You can't always just rely on yourself. You shouldn't. If you're a believer, you know that the only person you can rely on is a higher power. So if I look back all those difficult moments were refining me into the person that God has called me to be. I have a career, but I believe with all my heart that this is my calling. If you go on to the next slide, please. This is the result of failures, challenges, disappointments, and a lot of obstacles. This is the result of it. I want you to look at it, because it was, I can tell you, 100% not easy to achieve. A lot of sacrifices, a lot of rejections, yes, but that's the result, because I stood firm and I believed in myself. No matter what life has thrown at me or my mom, and mom has sacrificed so much for me, that is the result. Somebody who told me I'm not good enough, that is still the result. I rose to the occasion, and that is exactly the mindset that you need to have going forward. So I can tell you, pupils, that my foundation is rooted in, yes, hard work, talent, dedication, determination, all of those things, but it's also rooted in my belief that I serve a God to whom nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. You go on to the next slide, please. That is also the result of my sport. Remember in the beginning I told you there was a coach who told me, Shirlynn, you're not good enough to play for your country. That is the result. I became the South African most promising hockey player. I became South Africa's top scoring hockey player. I became University Hockey Player of the Year, World Hockey Player of the Year, not to mention my accolades in every other sport, World Champion, 200 and 400 meters. That happened after this person told me, Shirlynn, you are not good enough. That happened after. We go on to the next slide.
Oh no, man.
And I hope this doesn't make a very special person cry. Like I said, my mom is a Bishop Lavis alumni. My mom went to the school. And that's why the school is so close and so dear to my heart. I say nothing is impossible, and nobody represents that better than my mom. In my eyes, of course. And I'll tell you why. Everything started at Bishop Lavis High School. Some of the teachers are still here. Everything started here. Not going to share too many details, but my mom was told that she could never run again because of medical conditions. That didn't stop her. She broke multiple South African records, multiple for South African colours. She completed 3 Comrades marathons, 2 Oceans marathons. That's after the fact that the doctors told her, you can't run anymore. That's perseverance. She was recently honored as a SACO's Legend. It started here. Her roots. It started here at Bishop Lavis High School, and that's why you can be very, very proud to be attending this school. And the teachers that have taught you, be very proud of them. So we go on to the next slide, please. So guys, truthfully, it's 2024 and we live in a very difficult time, especially for young people, for young individuals. We face tremendous challenges, personally, financially, even our parents, they walk this journey with us. They face it too. There's peer pressure, there's fear of the unknown. Our backgrounds and circumstances are not always ideal. In fact, very far from it today, in today's world. Sadly, that is a fact. And young people, I know, I understand that you are faced with deep-rooted issues. I mean, technology, social media alone, the impact that has on people today is so detrimental at times because we start comparing our lives with the next person. Or we start to feel despondent. I'm here to tell you, do not believe that. Believe in yourself and believe in your abilities and never, ever, ever give up. The real test, ultimately, is not whether you can avoid the challenges, because you won't be able to avoid challenges. That's part of life. You won't be able to avoid it. The real test is whether you have the courage, the faith and the perseverance to go through those challenges, to overcome those challenges and to rise above those challenges. And like I said, when somebody tells you you can't do something, show them. Show them. Don't just tell them, don't just dream it, show them. Very, very important. Don't ever allow the opinions of others, your background, your circumstances, to define who you are. That can very easily happen. Do not ever allow the opinions of others to define who you are. Go on to the next slide, please. Learners, you are worthy. I wanted to make the topic of my testimony that you are worthy. We so often forget that. We so often feel that we have no worth in this world. I'm here to tell you that you are worthy, that you are valuable, that you are capable, you are powerful beyond measure, and you are worthy of every single opportunity that this world has to offer. Grab it with both hands. Grab those opportunities. Do not let it slip. So, we go on to the next slide, please. This is my last slide. It's my final piece of wisdom. Do not be afraid if you have God in your life. He will protect you, and He has a purpose for your life. Each and every one of us, God has a purpose for your life. If your identity is rooted in Christ, your circumstances, nothing can change that. Not even achievements, worldly things, popularity, physical features. You don't need to be afraid or worried about any of that, because God will take care of you. All you need to do is to believe and use those God-given talents that He has provided you with. No matter what you encounter, now or in the years to come, no matter what trials or fears you may face, follow Him and believe in yourself is the way forward. Class of 2024, I pray for for strength and courage in your mind, your body, and your spirit. We are so overcome by mental health issues. Take care of yourselves. And I'm going to ask the parents during this period to support your children even more. Just a little bit more if you can. And I pray that God will be there for you in times of difficulties, when you get exhausted, in times of challenges, and that you will have the perseverance to obey, and that you ultimately do your very, very best during these exams, and to reach every single goal that you've set out for yourself. Not only now, pupils, but for the rest of your careers. As I mentioned, this is only the start. Give everything you have, everything that you possibly have during these exams. It goes so quickly, but it is your passport to a better life. It is your passport to a journey that can be unimaginable. It is a passport to your dream. So, class of 2024, I know I've said a lot, but I wish you the very, very best during these final exams. I will keep each and every one of you in your prayers, and always remember, continue to rise and never, ever give up. Thank you.